Okay, so here we go, guys. Here is my color theory based prediction. Do not say anything. Okay? Do not say anything. Okay. I mean, you can say something like you can put an emote just so I know you're there, but like don't deny or confirm anything. Okay. Based purely on color. Vessel, now of course, self-titled and before, I know that's other things. I know. But I'm going to go from Vessel forward. Okay. Vessel's color scheme is gray. There's all these grays and okay. It feels very drab. It color-wise. Okay, again, this is purely color theory. Color-wise, with gray, there's a clinical feeling to it, but there's also an old feeling to it, right? Like gray, like the gray of an old man and the gray of, you know what I mean? Like, okay, it's very gray and drab. Now, I'm going to touch on lore a little bit. I know I said this was going to be purely color theory, but I'm going to touch on the lore a little bit in saying that Dima is very gray. Okay, he talks about the gray walls of Dima all the time. Okay, so we have this gray color that feels very, and the album is called Vessel. Then we have an album that is black and white and red. Okay, black and white with some touch of red. And it's the first time that we get bishops mentioned in the song Doubt. Bishops in chess are either on a white square or on a black square, and they can only move on that. Like if you're a bishop on a black square, you can only move on black, and if you're one on a white square, you can only move on white. So it's very black or white. Okay? Very black or white. And then we have red, which comes off as a bit of a rebellious color amongst the black and white. But we also know that red is tied to blurry face, right? We have and to the bishops. So we have the red of the bishops' hoods, we have the red of the bishops' eyes. So okay, so now we have established red. Red is bishops / blurry face, okay? Then you get into trench, and trench is yellow. Yellow's the color of banditos. Bishops can't see yellow. Okay, this feels like the color of freedom, right? Freedom from the bishops. It's the opposite of the red that we're getting here. In terms of like the sides of a war, red bishop, yellow banditos. Okay, these are the two sides of the war. These are the two places. Then we get Choker. He's wearing an orange beanie. Okay? The Choker, the character of Choker, who's the choker, the one who chokes, right? Who can't stand up for himself or who can't make decision, is an orange, which is the color in between those two places. Because the color in between red and yellow is orange. So that communicates to me, purely based on color, that the choker character, likely Clancy, or Keon's, I guess, whatever theory we're going with, this character is stuck between two places and he's having a hard time choosing between the two. He can't decide if he actually wants to stay with Dima or if he wants to leave. He's stuck between the two colors. Okay, so then we go into Scaled and Icy, which seems like such a departure color-wise because it's light blue and pink, and you're like, what the hell? And yes, there's other colors too. I know that there's other colors too, okay? But let's just focus on the blue and pink. The blue and pink seem to be the primary colors of this album. Hailing back to Vessel for a second, because I know I said Vessel was very gray, but the logo of Vessel album was blue with I think it was like a black dash, and then red, blue and red. When we get to Scaled and Icy, we have light blue, like a baby blue, and pink. So it's the blue and red of the Vessel logo, but whitewashed, so to speak. And when I say whitewashed, I don't mean the more modern use of that word that has to do with like racial issues and stuff. That's not the word I mean. I mean the original use of the word whitewashed that means that you're trying to make something seem more pleasant than it is. That when something is wrong or disturbing or unpleasant, you whitewash it, meaning you're trying to hide, you're hiding the unpleasantness. Okay? So you've taken something that are colors we're already familiar with that represent 21 Pilots, like a bold like blue and red, and we've whitewashed those colors to a light blue and a pink. And this is propaganda. This is the everything is fine, nothing is unpleasant here. Okay? So just purely on color theory, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a whitewashed version of 21 Pilots. Okay? Then I haven't gotten to Clancy and I haven't gotten to Breach. So I don't know what's in there content-wise. Purely on color, because the only things I know about these albums are their titles. I know that they're titled Clancy and I know that it's titled Breach. That's all I know about this. Okay? I don't even know the song list, to be honest. I've like not even looked at the track list because I don't even want something spoiled by track list names or anything, okay? So literally all I know of them is the title of the album and the colors because I've seen the covers, okay? I've seen the covers of the albums. Clancy is red and yellow. So when we're coming from red bishops and yellow banditos, and then we're experiencing orange, which is stuck between the two, we took a break for a second to whitewash some unpleasantness, and then we come back and we're at Clancy, red, yellow. So a potential prediction is when we get into Clancy, I have a feeling we're going to really deep dive into Clancy and who he is, and we're probably going to start seeing some polarizing because he says in the song Polarize, to polarize is to separate out your disguises, figure out which one is actually you, right? It's actually figuring out your identity. So I feel like we're seeing a polarizing happening where we're taking a character that was orange, that was in between two places and stuck between the two and not knowing which one he is, and we're going to see a character have to actually start polarizing those. He can't stay orange. He can't stay orange. He's going to have to figure out what's red and what's yellow and start making some decisions. I can see that Breach is red. I think it's red and black, which hails back to Blurry Face, because Blurry Face was black and red. So my general prediction over the next two albums is that we're likely going to see a character have to polarize these things, actually have to make a decision about who he is in these two places and make a decision. And I'm a little worried, just based on color, I'm a little worried about what that decision might be if we're back to blurry face colors again. That we didn't go from red and yellow to then yellow again. We went from red and yellow back to red and black. So I'm a little scared, but I'm going to not read too much into it. I'm going to just pretend that I'm crazy sauce and we'll see how things go. But that is purely like I said, it's purely a color theory prediction. So, okay.